Hot hatches are some of automotive enthusiasts' favorite vehicles, but in 2023 they're no longer very affordable. The Honda Civic Type R, the Toyota GR Corolla, and the Volkswagen Golf R can all easily exceed or start above the $40,000 mark. Now the Hyundai Elantra N is no hatchback, but it is Hyundai's hottest small car now that the Veloster is no more. Starting at $33,000, this vehicle seeks to make hot cars a little more attainable. And at $33,000, you're not getting a very compromised car. This 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder makes 278 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque, which is in about 20 to 30 horsepower of those hot hatches I mentioned earlier. That's enough power to push the Elantra N to 60 in 5.1 seconds. That speed is aided by the fact that the car rides on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, which are the same tires used in the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, and that car makes 668 horsepower. Around back, you also get this fun rear wing and giant dual exhaust, which sounds like this. That's definitely better than a Civic Type R. And you have a very nice interior with a nice chunky steering wheel, a touchscreen, a virtual instrument cluster, these Alcantara covered bucket seats with a glowing N logo, a 6-speed manual transmission, or you can get a dual clutch, an N mode, which puts the car in its most aggressive settings, and a button for automatic rev matching. Even though this is a smaller vehicle, at 6'2", I can still fit behind my ideal driving position. I've got plenty of knee room, just enough foot room, and when I sit up, I do hit my head on this sloping rear roof, but I will be absolutely fine for shorter journeys, and anyone under 6 foot will be able to fit back here with absolutely no problem. All right, driving the Hyundai Veloster. You know, I haven't driven a Hyundai in a minute. It's been almost 2 years, so I was super excited to get into this car, and especially this car, the Elantra N, because this is, you know, Hyundai's competition nowadays to the hot hatches of today. They don't have the Veloster N anymore. This is their smallest hot car, and I'm very excited to see how it compares, because price-wise, this is like $10,000 cheaper than the equivalent Honda or Volkswagen. The Honda Civic Type R that I drove back in February, I think, that thing was $44,000. So to have the specs that this car does, 278 horsepower, 289 pound-feet of torque, for $33,000, that's really impressive. And I'm going to downshift here, has automatic rev matching, give it some gas. It really stays planted in this sweeping bend. And let's switch into sport mode. Okay, here we go. Downshift, ooh yeah. There's definitely a little bit of turbo lag when you get on the power. It needs to build up a little. It's definitely quick. It doesn't feel as fast as the Civic Type R, which makes sense because it is down about 25-30 horsepower from that vehicle, but God, it is super dynamic still. It really stays planted in these sweeping bends, and that exhaust note is definitely more noticeable than the Civic Type R. I haven't driven the GR Corolla yet. I'll have a chance to do that next month in September, so I'm super excited to see how that car compares to this vehicle. That car has a little more power, all-wheel drive as well. I'm getting the 6-speed manual version of that car, similar to the 6-speed manual in this car, so super excited to see that. But yeah, that rev matching is nice, and it's nice to hear that 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder really rev out. So it doesn't feel quite as dynamic as the Civic Type R. That car felt a little more aggressive off the line and a little sharper around corners. I think this Elantra N is dampened a little softer than the Civic Type R was, which means it has a better ride and actually would be better for daily driving than the Civic Type R. That doesn't mean it's not dynamic at all. It's actually just a little more well-rounded vehicle. You could live with this easily and still have a blast with it. But if you're looking for pure sportiness, the Civic Type R, I think, is a little more aggressive. But that suspension being a little softer does mean it's very comfortable just cruising around town. Let's get out of sport mode. Let's get out of sport mode and go into normal mode and just upshift a little. Let's just cruise like we're cruising down the road, enjoying our time, not getting anywhere in a hurry. And yeah, the Elantra N, it's super quiet in here. You know, this is a compact economy car. It only costs $33,000, as I keep saying. I'm just blown away by that. But this is very comfortable. I have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which takes up the full infotainment system screen, which is very nice. I have a fully digital instrument cluster. I've got heated seats. These bucket seats are very nice. I like the Alcantara. They're really well bolstered so that if you are pushing it around the corners, you really get held in place nicely. And I love that there's a button for the automatic rev matching. That's something I like turning on quick and turning off quick, so it's nice that it's right there. And you also have a button to switch through your drive modes and to put the car into N mode, which is its most aggressive setting. So the Elantra N, super easy to live with. It has all of the creature comforts you could need. Dual zone automatic climate controls, Apple CarPlay, super comfortable. And yet it still also has the performance that means you can have fun on your daily commute on the weekends. And it's a practical car too. I at 6'2" fit behind myself. So I think it's a little easier to live with than something like a Civic Type R. It being cheaper also helps with that. You don't have to make as high of monthly payments. But again, the performance isn't quite as much as a Civic Type R. It feels, I know on paper it's much closer to a Type R than an SI, a Civic SI, but it feels kind of right in the middle of a Civic SI and Civic Type R in terms of performance, which price-wise, it's basically set to just right there. So good job Hyundai on creating an affordable performance car that's also really easy to live with. You can have a blast with this car and not have it be a hassle in your day-to-day life. So that's the Hyundai Elantra N. At $33,000, it definitely gives you the most bang for your buck in the small hot car segment. While it's not quite as dynamic or quick as some of its hatchback rivals, you're still gonna have a blast with the Elantra N. And for 2024, Hyundai will be releasing a facelifted version of this car to make it look even more aggressive than it already does. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.